Indeed. Okay, so our first example here, we've got, we're being asked to find or state the slope and intercept of each of these. And so for that first equation, can anyone remember what part of that equation, y equals 3x minus 2, represents the gradient and represents the y-intercept? Maybe we'll start with the y-intercept. So what part represents the y-intercept? Flynn? That's actually the gradient. So the other part, the minus 2 part, is representing our y-intercept. So for this question, our y-intercept is negative 2. Okay? And the other part, the number in front of x, that's our gradient. So we'll just say grade equals 3. So when we're talking about a gradient, what we're talking about is when we're drawing out our graph, it's the rise over the run. And so what I mean by that is it's how far you go up and then you go across. So with a number like 3, how could we explain 3 in a way that it could be rise over run? Like rise over run over here, it's kind of written like a fraction. How could we write 3 as a fraction? Megan? 3 over 1. So if we write it 3 over 1, our rise is 3 and our run is 1. Okay? We'll have a look at that in a second. Alright, question B. I'm going to slightly rearrange it. I'm going to write it as y equals, I'm going to write the x part first. So how could I write the x part first? Cameron? Yep, negative 2x. And then I'm going to write the number part second. Okay. So what am I going to have after negative 2x? Yep. Plus 7. Okay, so now I'm ready to write out my y-intercept. And so how am I going to show or what is my y-intercept for this question? Keegan?
Would it just be 7?
Yep, 7. So y-intercept here is 7. And our gradient for this one? Hands up. Flynn? 2. Can we be a bit more specific? Can we be a bit more specific? Megan? Negative. Okay, we've got to make sure we use that negative. So what do you think negative 2 is going to mean for our gradient? For our rise over our run? What's that going to mean? Yep.
That you go down instead of up.
Yeah, we're going to go down 2 and then across 1. Okay? Alright, this last one we've got y equals 0. So we'll start with our y-intercept. Any ideas here what our y-intercept is going to be? Yep. 0. Okay, what about our gradient, our rise over run? Thomas? 0. Okay, so this is just going to be a straight line through 0 on the y-axis. Okay? Alright, so I want to look at graphing some of these. So I've got a couple of examples under here where we're going to graph these. So if I'm going to graph these, what do I need to do first? Megan? I need to draw a graph. Okay, an x and y-axis. So get my ruler out and put in our y-axis. And you guys have to do it really nice and straight because it's so much easier on your paper. Then we'll put in an x-axis. So there's an x-axis. Now, I won't get too much into how big you should make your axes at this stage. But for most of the graphs that you're drawing at the moment, probably 5 to negative 5 is alright. Okay, I've got my axes. What am I going to do next? Daniel?
Fill in the number that's...
Yeah, so I'm going to put a scale on. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same on my x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then into the negatives as well. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. And for my x as well. Negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, so I've got my axes ready. And I'm ready to draw my first line. So looking at this first example, example number 9, what's my y-intercept? What's my y-intercept for this one? Cameron?
3.
So we're looking at the top example, example 9.
Top one, right?
Yep.
Plus 1.
Plus 1. Okay, can I get a brave volunteer to draw that y-intercept on this graph?
Me, no, Keegan. I volunteer.
No,
Keegan.
you have to volunteer. You can't volunteer someone else.
Oh.
Anyone? Okay, Megan? All right.
He's putting on the Y1 under
Yep.
on the line.
Awesome.
Oh,
Just
that
make it
is
a
so
bit bigger.
hard.
That's all right. Okay, that'll do. Great, thank you. Okay, so there's our Y-intercept, y equals 1. Now I want to put in my gradient. So to get my next point using my gradient, what's my rise over run for this example? What's my gradient, rise over run? Flynn? 2 over 3. So that means that I want to go up 2 squares and across 3 squares. Anyone brave enough to draw my next point on this graph? Okay, Daniel?
Okay. Wait,